Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Miranda. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so appreciative. However you ended up on this video, I'm just so glad you did. I am doing an update to a video I did about a year ago, which was about my everyday glam makeup. A lot has changed since then. I like to think for the better with my life and with my makeup. It definitely is a lot more natural, and I know people are like, ha ha ha, that's not natural. But I used a tinted moisturizer, not a foundation. So anyway, without further ado, won't spiel too long, but if you like this look, please keep on watching, and yeah, let's get started. Benefit Professional Primer. Rubbing it in my hands and just pressing it in to my T-zone and on the apples of my cheeks. Then with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade in the shade Taupe, I'm going to go in and define my brows. I've done this in other tutorials, so I'll link that in the description and just do them off camera to save time. Then what I've liked to do lately is just take my Hoola bronzer and apply it as eyeshadow. Then with a tiny little brush, I'm going to take some black eyeshadow and just lightly line the eye. This will help to make our mascara look a little thicker. And I kind of just wing it out just a little. Then we're going to take a little more of that Hoola bronzer and just kind of soften that line. Then with my all-time favorite mascara, the Full Lash Bloom Mascara from CoverGirl, I am going to add this to my top and bottom lashes. And when I apply mascara, I always wipe off the top and I get as close to the root as I can and just lightly shake it up the whole way. And I just keep doing this. This wand is awesome because it's very firm and will get in between all your lashes, but it's also kind of pokey, so just be careful you don't impale yourself, which I do at least once a week. And I only wear makeup once a week usually, so that gives you your odds. And usually I'll wait to do the bottom lashes until the top have dried, but I just got a little excited. Then I'm going in with my MAC Strobe Cream. You only want to use about this much. I always put too much, about that much. And then start applying it at the highlights of your cheek. That's where I put most of the product. I'm bringing it down, even under my eyes a little, because you'll cover it with concealer anyway. And then I'm very careful to put it on my forehead without hitting my blemishes. Then with my favorite new concealer, which is the Bye Bye Under Eye by IT Cosmetics Concealer, I'm just going to apply a little bit of this on the back of my hand. This product is super full coverage, so you want to be careful that you don't use a lot because you will end up looking a mess. Me all the time. So with a concealer brush and a little bit of concealer on the back of your hand, I'm just going to pick it up. And I like to apply it right on what I call my tired lines. So just right on that line. This looks different for everyone though. And I like to bring it up on my nose a little bit. Then the excess you can just put a little bit under your eye. You can even cut out your little fake liner if you want. Like that. Then I'm also putting this over my blemishes. Because we are going in with a tinted moisturizer, which is very light coverage, this extra concealer on our blemishes will kind of create more of a barrier. Because no one needs to know that we have flaws. Then I'm just going to take my ring finger and pat that out, starting at the outer part and working my way in. Then I'm taking a flat top brush and I'm just going to buff this all out. And when I say buff, I mean I'm pushing in and dabbing around. I'm not swiping. Well, I lie. Also, it's a matter of patience. Stippling and pushing like this looks so much better, but it also takes longer, and by longer I mean like 30 seconds. So, priorities. Then I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer and apply it all over my face. So just squeezing some onto my hands. I accidentally got too much product because it's near the end of the tube, and so it wasn't coming out, and then a ton came out. So less than this. But you just start blotting it like this, kind of around where the concealer is. And as you get less product, you can start bringing it onto the concealer. Because my concealer was a little bit light for me, this will help to kind of even it out to be closer to my skin tone. And then I just kind of bring it down on my neck. Then I'm going to take that stipple brush again and just blend everything. So now that we're all done with the liquid, because again, like I've said in previous videos, but if you missed it, this is a helpful tip. You do your liquids and then your powders. That is the tip to success. If you get nothing from this video, liquid, then powder. Never, ever, ever, ever do a liquid after you've done a powder. Ever. So now that we're done with all the liquids, we're going to take this MAC Studio Fix powder and set our under eyes. Is this powder supposed to go under your eyes? No, it's a face powder. But I don't have the translucent powder or under eye powder, so this is what we're working with, and honestly, this works for me. I do this all the time. So I'm just bringing it under my eyes to make sure that doesn't go anywhere. So I'm not going to use a lot of powder because it is winter, it's dry, the climate's dry, my skin's dry, everything's dry, and so if you add too much powder, you're just going to be in a world of hurt, and your skin's going to flake off. Speaking from experience. And I'm just bringing that on the nose, and I like to take just a little of the excess powder and put on my forehead, and my chin, really anywhere that I have shine issues. Then I'm going to take a loose powder brush, and with that same MAC Studio Fix powder, lightly apply it to my entire face. So I just put a light amount, like a sheen. So next I'm going to take that same Hoola Benefit powder that we put on our eyes as the eyeshadow and bronze up my face. So bronzer is meant to sort of tint the whole face. It's different from contour, but I applied in the same places as contour. So you're going to do your forehead, your hollows of your cheeks, and your chin. And start in your hairline so that if you have too much product on the brush, it's not going to be as intense. Then I'll take my loose powder brush and my Hoola powder and just apply a little to my neck to make sure everything looks just right. And I'm even just sort of blending out the bronzer with the loose powder brush. The nose contour. I've been toying with the nose contour, and let me tell you, it is not for the faint of heart. I've had some looks in the past few days. It looks great in pictures, not so great in real life. But I'm going to teach you some tips, and hopefully it will help you to have a mediocre nose contour like me. So I'm going to start by just looking right into the light and seeing where that little tiny line is, and just sort of going like this. Less is more, people. And I know it's tedious, but it's much better if you slowly build it than if you put too much. Then you want to do the side check and see how this line is super harsh. We're going to just work to make that a little more gradual. Because we are going to put powder over this, don't fret. But if that starts to rub off, we don't want it to be a harsh line underneath. Then we're going to do that on the other side. Then I put a little line in between the dot of my nose and the ridge of my nose. I made up those words, I don't know if that's real. Then we're putting some bronzer right on the tip of our nose. Then we're going to take our kabuki brush and just totally wipe it all off. Just kidding. But honestly, seriously, less is more. If you're just trying to get like a nice selfie, you can kind of go over the top. But if you're going to leave the building, less is more. If you feel like you've wiped off too much, you can just take that same brush and add a tiny bit more. Just play around till you feel happy with where you have reached. Then we're going to really pack this MAC Studio Fix powder onto our brush, our dome brush, and put it on the sides of our nose, right kind of along the contour line. And again, I'm pushing it in. You want to push it into your pores. Then I kind of just put it all over my nose. Then with the loose powder brush, we're going to just wipe away any excess powder and blend while we're at it. Then we're going to take this NYX blush, which is called Soft Spoken. It's like a light, sort of sparkly peach. I'm not a fan of sparkly blushes, but I really do love this color. And I like to just go right above my contour and onto the apples of my cheeks. And sometimes even if I want to look a little flushed and kind of, I've seen some sun, but I never see some sun, I just take a little bit of the blush and put it on my nose. Now it's time for the best part, which is highlighting. So I'm taking my Carly Bible palette. I absolutely love this palette. If I could only use one palette ever again in my life, it would be this one. There are so many beautiful shimmery highlights, shimmery shadows that you can create really beautiful smoky eyes with, and it's pretty inexpensive. It comes with this huge mirror. It's available on bhcosmetics.com. So I'm going to take this color and make a line from the top of my ear to my mouth and highlight. Just ever so gently. And then I like to take it above my brow, avoiding those blemishes, but just kind of everywhere. This is where things get extra. I'm going to take this lightest highlighter with a little bit of the gold and put it on the top of my lip. Then this is not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm going to take this lightest highlighter, put it on the top of my lip, and connect it to my Cupid's bow. I'm sorry, there's just something so angelic about that to me. Oh, I could do it all day. Then I'm going to take this white highlighter and a little bit of the gold and apply it to the tip of my nose. Kind of just press it in. And then very lightly with my pinky again, up the nose. Then I like to take with my ring finger the white highlighter and put it on my inner corner. This just really opens up the eye. And this obviously is in degrees, so if you like a subtler highlight, still put it in the same places, but just put less. And if you put too much, like I always do, you can take your loose brush and just blend it out. Especially focusing underneath the eyes. So now all that's left is the lips. We're almost done. So then I like to take the Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid, and it's more of a satiny finish, so I feel like it's very hydrating. It doesn't come to a complete dry though, so if that's what you're into, that's great, but for me, I feel like it moves around a lot, so I like to put a matte over top. But this is a nice intermediate level, or intermediary, to kind of keep the lips hydrated under the matte lipstick. Next, I'm taking my Wet n Wild matte liquid lipstick and just applying it over top. And this is the final look. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video.